You scroll through Twitter and there it is, a flood of facts that crumble under the tiniest scratch. Someone insists history repeats in predictable ways. Another claims the simplest explanation wins every time, but here's the catch, none of it's true. Scott Adams, the creator of Dilbert, calls this mental trap loserthink. What if your brain is quietly fooling you right now? Stick around, because I'm about to show you how to flip the script and spot loserthink before it ruins your day. Imagine living inside a bubble of your own ideas, where every disagreement feels like an attack. It's comfortable but deadly. That's loserthink's first trick, trapping you in a narrow world. Scott Adams recounts a viral Twitter argument where people screamed fake news at each other, each doubling down on their own realities. Entire groups became echo chambers, convinced their facts were sacred and everyone else was dumb. The standoff illustrated how loserthink builds invisible walls, turning conversations into battles and truth into a casualty. Think of your brain as a sunken ship trapped in a thick fog. The fog is your belief bubble. It obscures alternative views and blocks fresh ideas. In loserthink, your mind refuses to navigate beyond what feels safe, holding onto comfort rather than clarity. The fog makes every outsider a threat, not a teacher. The payoff? Once Scott learned to puncture his own bubble, he became a magnet for fresh ideas and sharp insights. Instead of ranting at strangers online, he began asking, "What if I'm wrong?" This simple shift turned him into one of the clearest thinkers in any room, and you can do it too. Ever find yourself stuck on a clever comeback instead of a real solution? That's loserthink's second trap, mistaking words for thinking. Adams tells a hilarious story about debating a friend who used fancy phrases like logical fallacies but never addressed the actual issue. It was like watching a squid ink cloud, lots of smoke and no clarity. The friend sounded smart but was trapped in word games, not problem solving. Words are like a flashy carnival mirror. They reflect a distorted version of your thoughts. You think you're seeing the truth, but it's a warped image. Real thinking needs mental models, pictures inside your head, to understand cause and effect, not just catchy phrases to toss around like confetti. When Adams moved from verbal sparring to building mental models, his arguments gained power and clarity. Suddenly, he wasn't just winning debates, he was solving problems. It's like trading a rubber sword for a scalpel. The difference is brutal and beautiful. The last trap, that little voice in your head that's way too proud of being right. Ego doesn't just puff you up, it blinds you. Adams shares a jaw-dropping moment where a CEO refused to pivot despite data screaming change. His ego, tied up in being the boss who never changes his mind, led to catastrophic losses. Everyone around him knew it was loserthink, but no one told him because his ego was too fragile to handle the truth. Ego is like a spotlight with a broken dimmer. It only shines on your successes and blocks out failures or doubts. This makes it tough to learn or admit mistakes because that spotlight feels like your identity. Loserthink thrives when ego seals off your mind from new info. When Adams started practicing egoless thinking, saying aloud, "I might be wrong," he unlocked fresh creativity and respect. People weren't attacking his ego, they were collaborating with his curiosity. The shift turned heated fights into productive conversations, proof that humility is the sharpest tool in your mental arsenal. Remember that Twitter firestorm we started with? Now you see how loserthink traps us in cocoons of certainty, clever words, and stubborn pride. But here's the kicker, you're already halfway out. Try this next time you catch yourself doubling down. Ask, what's one alternative explanation I'm missing? That tiny question cracks open your bubble, slices ego's grip, and gives your brain the fresh air it craves. Subscribe for more book summaries like this one.